What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to J. Ruth Gaming. And this week's podcast video, we look back at week 3, some of the hot news, what's happened, what didn't happen. And then we look ahead to week 4, some predictions of all the games. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Let's go. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. Connor, thanks for flying in, man.
I'm back.
How you doing?
I'm back, baby.
You doing good?
And I'm dressed up.
I know. True professional.
Dressed up for the occasion.
Professional.
Love it.
I got the green on for my birds.
There you go.
Got another win this week.
I got the white on because I look good in white.
That's absolutely.
You know?
It was easy. It was like, what color you want?
Choice.
White.
Easy choice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, this week we're going to talk real quick about week 3, just some highs, some lows for us, and then we're going to dive right into week 4. So, Connor, kick us off. What are you thinking of week 3? What did you think of week 3, I should say?
I got to say, NFL continues a great season.
Boy.
But I got to say, I think the highlight, and it's sort of like a pity highlight, is the Colts finally getting a win.
I'm knocked out.
The Kansas City Chiefs, which
Done.
I don't think anyone could have saw coming.
I sure didn't. I picked the Chiefs.
I don't think anyone could have guessed that.
Was there one moment why you picked that?
Has to be that play before halftime if the Chiefs don't run.
Let your quarterback play, right?
Yeah.
I at least for the first half, I can start saying maybe at the end of the game, but no, not even. Let the guy play.
It always seems like they're on the same page, Bieniemy and Mahomes, and to see them not on the same page was weird. And for Bieniemy to be that confident that nothing was going to go wrong, also kind of weird.
Mm-hmm.
But
I have a feeling I know what your negative's going to be, but go ahead.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's awful to watch. It's really awful to watch, and they need a new offensive coordinator so bad, so bad. It's Thursday Night Football was a bust for me. So I had a great weekend.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you had a good weekend. That's all that matters.
One fantasy, so that's
perfect.
Great. Yeah,
perfect.
That's all I needed.
Perfect.
Yeah. So how about you? What's your highlight of week?
So as you know, we do all the sport cards here.
Yeah.
So I always watch the rookies or last year's rookies, whatever it is. So Trevor Lawrence balled out. It was awesome, and I'm a Peterson guy, obviously.
Gotta be.
So that combination is just cool to watch. So Herbert, yes, was banged up. I get it, but still, he looked good. Jaguars looked good.
He did look good. He looks like the real deal under Peterson.
He really does.
He didn't under Urban Meyer.
No.
He does look good under Peterson.
Absolutely.
Hey, congratulations to Doug Peterson. Moved to 5th on the all-time win list.
How about
For
that?
the Jacksonville Jaguars winning head coach.
I didn't know that.
3 games. And he hasn't even won them all.
That's great. It's a good stat.
Shout out Doug Peterson. Making history everywhere.
Perfect. So my one low was the other team I got knocked out with, the Raiders. What are they doing? They were supposed to win like 10 games this year. They can't win 1. They're a mess.
Josh McDaniels.
They're a mess.
That's a coaching situation again, I think.
Unbelievable.
Has to be.
Unbelievable.
I don't know what to do with them.
Just brutal. All right, enough about that. Thursday Night Football kicks off this week in Cincinnati. We got Dolphins going to the Bengals.
Yeah.
Before you take off, I want you to go lead us here. The Bengals are going to be in their white uniform.
Ooh.
Should be in their white uniform.
You know, as a Steelers fan, I got to give respect to the absolute cleanest uniforms in the NFL.
Clean.
And it's those.
It's clean.
They're great.
So the Bengals are -4.
Yeah, I don't
You agree?
No. Even if Teddy plays, I don't think I agree. Like, even if Tua doesn't play
right.
and Teddy Bridgewater plays, I still don't think I agree. The Bengals couldn't beat the Steelers, and we all know how I feel about the Steelers. So I don't think, they're getting more into a rhythm. Totally fine. I totally get it. But I think that if Miami switches to the ground game, because they have to out of necessity, you have Mostert and you have Edmonds, and I still think they're going to play well.
I agree. I agree for sure. No matter what, it's a fast team.
It's a fast team. It's the fastest
can't-
team in the NFL.
You can't beat it.
Yeah.
Can't beat it.
And you can't tell me that Teddy Bridgewater is not going to get the ball to
One of them.
Gisecki.
One of them.
You can't tell me it's not going to happen.
I agree. I think Dolphins actually win that game.
I think so too. So I don't know. I don't know what that's all about.
Either way, I think this Thursday Night Football is going to be a lot better than last week's. No offense
No, 100%.
to your Steelers.
No, not at all. But speaking of teams, your Eagles.
Yeah, my
do
Eagles.
They continue to roll here against the quarterback that you just shouted out.
I know.
And the former coach that you just shouted out.
boy.
How does it continue?
So Philly's -6.5 here. Boy. This is not that's going to be their first true test because the Vikings I thought were going to be their test, and we did very well against them. So I'm curious to see what I believe this is going to come down to is which wide receiver core is going to be better. You're going to have Devonta Smith or AJ compared to what the three-headed monster they have over in Jacksonville. So that's what I think because I think the running backs are going to have tough wall to get through.
Oh yeah.
Receiving, they might do good on the receiving side of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think the running game might be tough. So going back to my cards, I think T Law might have to step up.
I agree.
And beat the birds in the air compared to the ground first. But Jalen Hurts, he's your guy.
Dude, I mean, what an absolute top tier quarterback he's turned out to be.
Top tier for sure. We will get to all rankings later in the video.
Yeah.
Wait till you see where Hurts falls this week.
Really?
Well, not falls. I'm sorry. I should say who swapped spots with him.
Okay. All right.
I think that's the better way to put it.
I'm excited for that.
I think that's the better way.
I'm excited for that.
So we got the Vikings at the Saints.
Technically.
-2.5.
They're technically at the Saints, but they're both in London.
They're across the pond.
9:30 in the morning. Gotta love early morning football. Well, I mean early for me, but you gotta love early morning football on Sundays. Here's what I'm gonna say about this game. I have to assume it's gonna be a run-heavy game.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Dalvin Cook is healthy enough to play. I know Kamara's back in action.
Question mark, is he, right?
I gotta so this game's a little weird to me. Like London football, Europe football. I know they're doing a whole European series this year. It always feels, no pun intended, so far away from the regular game. The guys are tired, they travel, they're playing early, they got jet lag. I don't know, I gotta think it's a run heavy game or a tight end heavy game. But I don't know, the real reason that I wanted to talk about London football, I'm going ahead and I'm going to take Minnesota because I just don't think New Orleans has it together.
I don't either. I think if anything with this game, if Cook is out, then you can get a cheap running back.
I think so too. Yeah.
That would be the only thing.
You probably have a cheap tight end option in Juwan Johnson from New Orleans.
Right.
You could probably, I mean, I know Kamara is like Kamara, but you could probably get him cheaper just because he hasn't played this season outside of the other day a little bit. So I'm sure he's a little cheaper. So I would look at running backs here.
That's probably what I would do also. But it's early in the week. We do this videos or a lot of the injury reports happen. Yeah. So Cook is still an unknown right now. Interested to see what happens there. But speaking about running game, coming back on home turf here, the Browns versus the Falcons. You love the Falcons, but the ground heavy Browns, is there going to be too much for the Falcons?
I think so, probably. I mean, I think the offense will be able to keep up to a point. And that was like sort of where I wanted to talk about London football. It was not London UK football, but it was Drake London football. Because I will state again for the second week in a row, Drake London is the real deal.
He is he's something. He's something else, I will say.
That is a talent. And I don't know, man. I mean, Atlanta, like I've said it since the preseason, Atlanta's better than people give them credit for. I think their defense just gets overpowered by the run game. And I think it's just because it's a war of attrition and nothing else. Do I think that Atlanta's receivers have a good day? Sure. Do I think Pitts has a good day? I do. Do I think Cordarrelle Patterson has a good day? For sure. I think at the end of the day, though, it's hard to think that the Falcons are going to pull this game off.
I think it might be one of those things where they stay with them the first half, and then they just get tired from dealing with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt the whole game. It's going to be a long time dealing with them.
And when you get tired enough, they'll just throw the ball on you. Like Jacoby Brissett's not afraid to throw.
Cooper in a deep post. It's like, really? By the way, we have Cooper. Speaking of Cooper, how about Cooper's old team? How about Cooper's old team, the Cowboys, with Cooper Rush? How about that? You like that little segment?
I do like that. We're going off of names today, if anyone hasn't picked up.
That? Washington at the boys. Here's the question I have for you. Boy, if Cooper wins this game and the next game, and he goes 4-0 without Dak, seriously, people lose their jobs because of injuries. It happens. What do you do with Dak? Do you actually sit down and say, listen, take the money, you're done. We're winning now. We're not going to mess that up. Take as much time as you need. deal with that cut, deal with whatever it is. What do you do?
I think you sit down and you go, you really feel better?
That's
Do
right.
you really feel better?
100%.
You sure you don't want a little more time?
Setback, right?
Yeah.
Setback,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Even if they have to pull him, I don't know what the IR rule is for this season, but even if they have to pull him off and go, you're questionable every week.
I would, day by day, absolutely, 100%. The one thing I will say though about this, you had him on fantasy football, and actually we were live here Sunday, and we were mentioning him a lot too. CD Lamb's getting 11 plus targets a game.
Yeah.
Right now,
he's dropping a lot of them.
Dropping a ton, for sure. No, absolutely.
With the number 88 on in Dallas.
For sure. But he's still getting the looks.
He is getting the looks.
So when I'm looking for players, I'm looking at their targets because at least the quarterback's looking their way. Nothing's more frustrating than a guy playing an entire game and the quarterback's not even looking their way.
Yeah.
So CD Lamb, because he drops a lot of passes, though, he's not as expensive as you would think.
Yeah.
So in my opinion, I always try, especially for this matchup now, Philly wide receivers beat up Washington.
Yeah.
I think Dallas is going to also.
Shout out Tony Pollard too, I think.
Really?
I think that's worth looking at.
Okay.
They use Tony Pollard a lot.
They do. They do for sure. Well, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But listen, speaking of injuries though, with Dak.
Yeah.
This is going to be fun. The Lions. The Lions are doing very well. Seahawks are at the Lions. Lions are -4.5, but you got Swift and St. Brown hurt.
I'm going to hit you with a crazy statistic.
Oh, go for it. I love this.
The most touchdowns in the NFL right now is Lamar Jackson.
Okay.
Single-handedly has scored the most touchdowns in the NFL. The next most touchdowns in the NFL is the Detroit Lions.
Really?
Yeah.
The special team.
So Lamar Jackson is outscoring every team in the NFL by himself. And then the next team is the Detroit Lions.
They're a great team.
They are.
We was saying
they just can't close.
Correct. Which I think is the experience there.
For sure.
But if I'm the coach and I'm the players, I'm like, yo, they don't know what's coming. We got these guys
They've all
on the
bought
run.
in, it seems like.
100%.
Yeah.
So I think the future there is great.
Yeah.
Kind of what we were talking about earlier with the Vikings. This is going to be a situation where you're going to want to watch the star players from the Lions, and you might be able to get some like next man up value.
Yeah. Yeah, because if some guy's hurt, you got to go to Zay Jones, I think.
You have to. You have to. And he's going to be cheap.
And Jamal Williams is doing really well, even with Swift healthy. Jamal Williams holds his own. He's a little bit of an end zone vulture. So
it's interesting for sure. So here's your Colts. The Titans versus the Colts.
Yeah.
I'm seeing like a run heavy game. Is that what you're seeing, or do you think it's going to be like, no, they're actually going to throw the ball because everyone's going to expect it to be a Henry versus JT show?
I don't know. I think that you have to look at it and think it's going to be a run-heavy game because neither quarterback has been spectacular.
No.
And I don't know how you trust either one of them.
No. The one thing I was very surprised about the Titans last game was Derrick Henry caught a lot of passes.
He's been throwing some hands.
I was very, very surprised by that because Hilliard's been doing a ton of the work. But Henry got a bunch there.
He's flashing hands, which I do think is interesting. And I don't know. I got to think that, like, I think Tennessee at this point has, I keep saying the Steelers have, like, really terrible offensive play calling.
Yeah.
I think the Titans have the most confusing.
Right.
Because they know they're not. I feel like you have to know that you're not making playoffs this year.
But they should have been. Both Titans and Colts should have been very good this year.
I agree with you. I don't know what's going on with either team. And I think the Colts, maybe Matt Ryan, I think that might have not been the solution they thought it was. And then I think Tennessee hasn't adjusted their play calling past Ryan Tannehill's playoff performances.
I don't think either team has made adjustments. They're both only have one win.
Yeah.
But the complete opposite. Two young teams that were supposed to be real bad both have 2 wins. The Chicago Bears and the New York Giants.
Who do you think wins Tennessee and Indy before we go to that? Like who do you have to pick? Like if you're still in last man standing and this is like the thing that you're going to like pick and choose. Who do you think? Who moves the 2 wins in that game?
Titans is the one that's screaming to me.
Yeah.
Not screaming, but my gut.
That's fair.
My gut there. Don't know. Derrick Henry is the guy that pops to mind. Just a guy that's just going to beat you down play after play. It's going to be ugly, but it's going to be 4 yards.
Yeah.
4 yards.
Yeah.
4 yards. That's what I think
That's
there.
fair. All right. I'll take that.
Bears, Giants, both have 2 wins. These coming into the season, there was professional companies that do all the stats for the whole year coming in. They had both these teams barely winning 6 games, and they have 2 wins.
For what it's worth, like Chicago's winning games, I think, on the back of Roquan Smith. My man had 15 tackles and an interception.
Pay the guy.
Yeah.
Give the guy
100%.
Give the guy the come.
Because your quarterback, who you drafted to be the future, at one point in the game was 6 for 15 with 67 yards.
He does some good slides though in the rain.
He does some
good photos.
That is a historic picture.
Great photo.
That should go in Canton.
I listen. I hope there's a sport card with it. I hope it get autographed or whatever.
Yeah.
100%.
That's a Hall of Fame photo, and that's a historical photo, is what I should say. But like, I can't figure out how these two teams are winning ball games,
but they are.
They are. And Giants really got their first real test yesterday, I think, with Dallas, and they didn't fail it by any means.
No, for sure.
It's Monday Night Football. Daniel Jones has a terrible record on Monday Night Football. He's like 0-9 on Monday Night Football.
Right.
So like, okay, cool. Their woes continue there. Kenny Golladay still can't get like even a target in a game. Like, it's all on Saquon, and I totally get that. So, I don't know. I got to look at the Giants here and think the Giants are going to take advantage of, like, a Chicago team that, like, probably shouldn't be winning football games. And
I agree with that.
Doing it on the back of a linebacker.
Okay, that's fair. Now, that linebacker is going to have to potentially deal with Herbert more than Montgomery if Montgomery doesn't participate because of, I think it was a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
I believe it was. But either way, yeah, so I'm excited to see that matchup, but man, the Giants are actually -3 going into this game early on. So I think you might be right there. I think the Giants might sneak that one out.
Do you trust anybody from the Bears in fantasy?
Herbert, I would.
Any of the wide receivers?
No.
Cole Kmet, like anything?
No.
I keep coming back to this Cole Kmet question of like, he's got to catch. He's got to like be the guy that like gets work in the end zone, but then they don't get to the red zone.
Well, kind of going back to my CD Lamb, he doesn't get a lot of targets.
Yeah, it's true.
He doesn't get a lot of targets. So I think, I think the quarterback situation, not that the situation, like he's earned it, but
he's
like
going to be the guy there.
They've
committed to that.
But I think he has a long way to go.
I agree.
I just do. Listen, your boys are up next. Jets, Steelers, a lot of new faces. A lot of young faces.
Yeah.
I'm just going to ask the harsh question. Do the Steelers, are they going to lose to the Browns and Jets back-to-back?
Yeah, absolutely they are. They're going to get the Michael Carter, Breece Hall combination is going to run on them.
Oh, boy.
Wilson's back. So, Zach Wilson's back. So, that's going to be a thing. So they're going to face, like, a young, vibrant, excited quarterback. Now, they kept Burrow in check. But the defense did all of the work and then tired out. So I don't think you can keep asking the defense to, and again, I get that TJ Watt's not playing, but I don't think you can continue to ask the defense to play the level that they're playing at and then have Matt Canada's play calling giving you the offense that you're yielding.
Interesting. It's interesting for sure. Wilson coming back, yes. Should be back. Do you think it's different if Flacco's there?
I think Flacco will still throw all over them.
Gosh, it doesn't matter who.
I don't think it matters who plays.
Okay.
I think that whoever's throwing the ball is going to have success, and I think the running backs from the Jets are going to have success. So, I think CJ Uzama's back. Cheap tight end. Mike Conklin got a lot of work.
He did.
With Joe
targets.
Flacco, a lot of targets. I think that Wilson being back, he'll probably lean on Uzama because he's a proven pass catcher. Not that Conklin isn't. Obviously, he's been doing it for the past 3 weeks, but I think that might be a guy that if you want to look for cheap, and then probably Jets running backs you want to look for and go for. I would stay away from Deontay Johnson. The dude keeps dropping passes.
I think your money play is going to be a couple of Jets players here.
100%.
Young Jets players going to the Steelers. All right, Bills versus the Ravens. Mr. Lamar versus Josh Allen.
Your guy.
Boy,
your guy, Josh Allen.
Josh Allen is winning me fantasy football, I'll tell you that much.
He definitely is.
But I don't know if he's going to win this game. I really don't.
Tell me why.
Their defense is hurting. The Dolphins beat them. Now, the Dolphins are good, right?
Yeah.
Or are they? Are they just fast?
They're fast and good.
Lamar is also very fast.
That's true.
So I do believe that it's going to be another close game, but I actually think that Josh Allen, they're going to be not overconfident about this game, but just feel like they're entitled to win this game. They're
That's
like,
fair.
no, listen, we're supposed to be the best. We're going to win this game. And Lamar's going to be like, okay, stop me.
Yeah.
And
True.
I don't think they're going to be able to stop them. I think the Ravens are going to have long drives, long possessions, and then you're going to have Josh Allen, firing down the field, scoring real quick.
Yeah.
Then when they don't score and the Ravens continue to run the ball, Bills couldn't stop Miami. So that's my opinion there.
Sure.
I think the Buffalo Bills lose this. It's I don't know. What's the spread here? Bills are -3, so the line is close. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a close game.
Who are you looking for in fantasy? You think it's going to be a shootout? You think you play everybody? You play anybody you can find?
I don't think there's... The only one I'd be worried about would be the running backs, I think.
Okay.
Singletary, Dopkins, like those guys, I would be a little bit nervous. Just I don't think the volume's there. I think all the wide receivers, though, for either team should have a big day.
Okay.
But I think both quarterbacks might be their worst enemy here.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to, hey, we need to win this game, and it could hurt them. It could hurt them. It might come down to who turns the ball over the least.
Okay.
Who wins that game between the two.
Speaking of a quarterback being his own worst enemy,
Boy.
Herbert's ribs seem to be his own worst enemy.
You know what? Last week watching the Chargers play, they were not the Chargers. They were just you could just tell. Your captain is hurting.
Yeah.
Like, clearly hurting. Still doing good, still slinging the rock, but
beginning of the third quarter, Chargers looked somewhat
for sure.
Normal Chargers, but it died off really quick.
Now, I think they get a break by facing the Texans, where there really isn't much there. Like, if you're talking just pure fantasy football, I would pick nobody on the Texans. Even Cook is going to be your boom or really bust guy. Like, there's just nobody there. Someone might say, "Oh, Pierce is there." I'm sorry. It's just not a team I'm looking at all.
No, and it's that running back darling situation. Like, it works very rarely. Like, very rarely are you going to get a guy who went undrafted as a free agent and gets picked up and gets put in the starting position. I think it's literally it has happened, I think, twice.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this is the situation that's going to yield that result for Dameon Pierce.
I don't either. But speaking about rare, I laughed because this next game, Cardinals and Panthers come up, and I asked you a question last week: do the Saints beat the Panthers? And your comment was no, because Baker wins games he's not supposed to win. Does he do it again?
Always.
Does he pull another rare opportunity?
So this is great because this is a rare opportunity to win a game he shouldn't win. Although Arizona's getting beat up.
Mm-hmm.
Not even their fault. I mean, they keep losing guys to injuries. They haven't gotten Hopkins back. Like, it's just a long season for them so far. But another rarity, we got OU quarterback versus OU quarterback. We got Baker versus his predecessor in Kyler Murray at OU, which is really cool. I don't think Carolina's defense played well against the Saints.
They did.
I think that Arizona isn't enough of a pressure cooker right now that the Panthers defense is probably going to play the same against Arizona.
Interesting.
And I think the Panthers probably come away with this game. I didn't earlier today, but the more that I've thought about it as time goes on, Carolina's defense was good.
For sure.
And I think that the Arizona Cardinals just lost their left tackle, Justin Pugh.
Mm-hmm.
AJ Green is out now, so their targets are dropping like flies. And this is the third time I've said this on this podcast, that Arizona's targets are just dropping like flies.
But one guy standing there.
One guy standing there, and it's Hollywood and Ertz and even James Conner's playing with a hurt ankle.
Yep.
I think that Baker pulls it off. I'm looking at Robbie Anderson again. I say it every week, and I know I sound crazy because it doesn't always hit, but the deep ball against Arizona, I think works.
It could definitely could be a recipe for success for some of the skilled players for Panthers this week for sure.
Yeah, I just think it's a good move for them.
Now, the complete opposite. I don't think the Patriots, stand a chance against the Packers this week. I think it's the biggest spread of the week, -10 Packers at Lambeau. This is Mac Jones should be hurt. I think the Patriots need to. Mac Jones is going to be fine. I think he's going to be the guy, but that team needs some help.
Yeah,
like big time.
That was another one that I thought about earlier. That I was like, I think New England can win this. And the more I thought about it the other day, I was like, I don't think they can.
No way. No way. I think it's going to be a horrible game to watch.
Yeah. Oh, it should be terrible.
It's going to be a lot of run. So I'm looking at AJ Dillon. I'm looking at All the running backs here, actually. I think
even like Ramondre Stevenson.
I do.
Too.
Okay. I do. It's going to be one of those types of games. Maybe a slot receiver. For the Patriots.
Do you trust Devontae Parker after the 154 yards the other day?
It's a different quarterback. So I can't say yes or no. It could be a Cooper Rush type of deal where I'm looking at someone else now that I've been on the practice squad or second teamer that no one knows about.
Yeah.
Which could be an opportunity to look who that person is.
Yeah.
You know, who's replacing Mac and who have you been targeting in practice. Yeah. So we'll figure that one out. Broncos Raiders, another 4:30 game. This one is frustrating to me. But I do just because the Raiders knocked me out last week. Absolutely frustrating. 0-3 team. The Broncos, though, I think Russell actually gets on the horse. No, I think he gets on the horse this week, and he has a big game.
On the horse?
Yep, I said it. That's right.
Russell's on the horse. All right. So you think the Raiders go 0-4?
I do.
Because the Broncos quarterback is on the horse? Got it. I'm not even going to ask you about fantasy, I don't think, in that game. Do you have any other comments, Dad?
Nope.
We're going to run with on the horse.
Absolutely.
All right, perfect.
All right, let's ride, baby. Let's ride.
I have the Raiders finally pulling one out.
Do you really?
I think Wilson's washed.
100%, but the Raiders are just that bad. I watched, unfortunately, a lot of the Raiders last week, and I wanted to bang my head against anything.
Matt Collins had a great game, though.
Oh, it was bad.
He did great. They're a wide receiver, too. If you're looking for someone deep in DFS,
okay,
or on the waiver wire, I think Matt Collins is probably a guy to look at.
Interesting. You know, I'm looking at the line now. They actually have Vegas -2.5.
Do they?
They do. That's super interesting.
Because Russell Wilson is washed.
Yeah, probably.
Washed.
He's riding high right now. Chiefs, Buccaneers. Mahomes going against Brady.
I have one bone to pick before we move on to this game.
Go ahead.
With the Denver Broncos.
Go ahead.
How do you not play Javonte Williams more when Melvin Gordon keeps fumbling the football?
Not my call, man. Not my call, dude. But I understand.
And
he runs angry. He catches the ball. He does everything, and they're still going Melvin Gordon. Is there a contract thing? I wonder if they're paying Gordon a ton of money. It's one of those things where it's like...
Because Gordon signed after the injury with the Chargers.
Well, I will say this, though. For all the jokes that we have against the Broncos, they are 2-1. So, like...
But Russell Wilson's washed.
For sure, but they're still 2-1. They're still 2-1.
Listen, man.
Listen.
When my clothes get washed, they get clean. You know?
All right. Mahomes versus Brady. Who wins?
Mahomes?
I guess. It has to be.
I mean, the Buccaneers have the 24th rated offense in the NFL. Again, the same thing as the Cardinals. Like, who's being targeted? And, like, I can't believe, and his name just, like, all of a sudden popped away from me. Russell Gage.
I know.
He's like a wide receiver one with Tom Brady.
Well, yeah, because there was nobody else. Yeah. Now, Gage was supposed to do well this year.
For sure.
But you have so many mouths to feed on that. I mean, literally you had Evans out, Godwin out, Julio out. You just had him and Perriman.
Yeah.
So that was it.
So this week you have Evans back.
You have Evans back.
It's going to be Evans, Gage, Perriman.
Yes.
Fournette doesn't have a touchdown still.
Correct.
But fantasy owners, he's promising one. So...
Did he promise one?
No, I doubt. Promised a touchdown.
Unless it was like a Gronk situation where it's like, hey, Tommy, I need the one more catch. You know, like last year, get that bonus check.
But with the 24th ranked offense, I don't think you're in the position to do that.
You never know.
You know?
You never know.
So keep playing Gage if you can.
I think I would too if you had the opportunity.
Pull down for Perriman, I think. Stay away from Cole Beasley. Stay away from Scotty Miller.
For sure.
Stay away from Cameron Brate.
For sure. Yeah, I would stick with Perriman or Gage there.
Honestly, another one too. Stay away from Juju.
Yeah, you know what? I had good expectations for him this year, and he's just not. I just don't get it. They're looking at him quite a bit. It's just can't. I don't know. He's not performing as well as I thought he would.
You know, I think that Mahomes without Hill is. Sorry about my throat, by the way. I think Holmes without Hill is spreading the ball around as much as he can when he's not looking at Travis Kelce.
I guess.
And I think that he's trusting the companionship there with Kelce over everything and the chemistry there.
He is definitely. You could tell he misses that deep threat.
Yeah.
And Sky Moore is not that.
And they're going to Hilaire a lot.
They are. They are. Which is good if you have him, for sure. And I don't think Hilaire's that much either.
So.
All right, last game of the week, and then we're going to get into some bold predictions.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football, the Rams versus the Niners. I'm sure when they scheduled this game, they thought it was going to be more exciting.
Oh, yeah.
This is interesting. The Rams are, if you're not Cooper Kupp, it doesn't matter. Jimmy G didn't have the greatest game last game. Lost 100G because he didn't win.
Still stepped out of the end zone.
Yeah. That was fun. What do you have to say about this game? Anything jump out at you?
Rams by 1,000?
Really, by 1,000?
I think so.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about 1,000. I do. They have the Niners 2.5 here. I think a lot of the players on Niners fantasy wise have a better week this week. I think there's a lot of, high emotions for Jimmy, even though he's been there before. It's a big role. And he knows he's under a lot of pressure to perform well, so his camp could get paid in the offseason.
I think that Jalen Ramsey's playing some of the best football I've ever seen him play.
Interesting.
And I think Aaron Donald is going to eat against Jimmy G.
Well, he could definitely do that.
Yeah.
He could definitely do that.
So I think Jimmy's in a lot of trouble.
Okay.
Week. That's where I'm going with that.
He's going to be really yelling at Trey Lance being hurt.
I think so too.
That Monday night.
I think he's going to get chased around. I think he's going to throw picks. I think Allen Robinson's not going to drop passes in the end zone.
It's been a Cooper Kupp show. Even Allen Robinson hasn't been that great. Yeah. It's been a little disappointing. Well, listen, we're going to go right into our segment here where we do some bold predictions. Last week, you were close on
close.
You were so close of clearing how you were.
I'm keep getting off by these little bits, but if you're playing DFS and you're looking for cheap guys so that you can get more expensive guys, I'm helping you out a little bit because my spreads are only off.
They're not bad.
They're only off by 3 or 4 points.
They're not bad.
So I'm doing okay.
We're gonna switch the cameras and we're going to put on the screen a black camera that I don't know why is not.
Ooh, we got a camera out.
Camera is out. So we're gonna switch to us and go with this camera here, and we'll just kind of talk it out. So the quarterback, the ranking system.
Yeah.
Hurts moved up above Mahomes this week. That was the switch.
I love that.
So for the quarterbacks, who do you have that's a little bit lower, a little bit cheaper that you believe is going to have a better week than one of the top guys?
So listen, this is going to be one that is if the sun god plays.
Okay, fine. If
the sun god doesn't play.
Okay.
Pretend like I never said it.
Okay, that's fair.
Jared Goff.
Okay.
Over.
Oh boy.
Joe Burrow.
Yeah, you know what? I could see that. So Joe Burrow is 5th right now, and Goff is way down there.
Way 16, 17,
14, a little bit higher. But yeah, no, I agree with that for sure.
And that's gonna be one of those things that even if I'm wrong by 3 or 4 points, and you can go out there and get a guy that's gonna score you 10, 15 more points, go for it.
No, totally agree. I don't think the Seahawks are really gonna do anything. And listen, that could be without St. Brown too.
It could be.
I think it'd be without St. Brown.
It could be.
Good call there. I think so anyway. Running backs.
3rd week in a row. James Robinson.
Stud.
Over Najee Harris.
And here's the thing. He doesn't get the love.
No, he doesn't get the love.
He just doesn't get the love.
And I don't know why.
He is 16th, 15th, 16th, James Robinson. 16th. Najee is 8.
Don't see it.
I don't understand it. They're going to him more than Travis Etienne.
And he's producing.
I don't understand. Now, I will say, the only thing that worries me is that Eagles front line.
Yeah.
They are good.
Yeah.
But the linebackers have a hard time guarding receiving backs.
Yeah.
So, if Elaw does get some time, there could be some nice opportunities there.
Here's my thing. Slay's out there. So you got a guy who can intercept the ball. The line's there. You got a guy who can stop the run. You're going to use Robinson as much as you can.
I think so too.
So, and Najee Harris, love him. Favorite player on the team right now.
Of course.
Not his fault.
No, it's not.
Not his fault that I'm making this choice.
It's not, for sure.
Shout out Matt Canada.
Wide receivers. Go for it.
Amari Cooper.
Amari Cooper.
Okay.
Browns
superstar. Amari Cooper.
24th. I had to scroll far down for that one.
Over Deebo Samuel.
Okay. That's super interesting.
Yeah.
Where is Deebo? Deebo is 11. Boy. So that's the Monday night game.
Yep. No, that's
Yeah, Monday night. Well, the 49ers are Monday
49ers
night,
are
I
Monday
should
night.
say.
Yep.
So you're going to have to really wait to see that one. But boy, that's interesting too. But yeah, I think what's going to happen for that, in my opinion, like we talked earlier, I think it's going to be a lot of run game for the Browns. And then they're going to get caught watching in the background, and Cooper's going to dip behind a deep ball. So I'll even one-up you there. I think Cooper has a 50-yard plus touchdown.
Wow. I like that.
I think so.
Wow.
I think they're going to get stuck in the backfield because they're going to get crushed the first half. Not crushed, but it's just going to be a lot of run.
Yeah.
And next thing you know, play action over the top.
And he's gone.
That's
Burns.
my can I do that? Can I steal part of your bold prediction?
Yeah,
all right, 50-yard plus touchdown.
The more the merrier.
Amari Cooper, I like it. Tight ends, just to wrap us up here.
TJ Hawkinson.
Okay, number 8
over Kyle Pitts.
Number 4. Oh boy, so Pitts going against Cleveland, and then Detroit going against Seahawks. So you're like stacking. You're stacking there.
Stacking.
You're going Goff.
Whether the sun god plays or not, I
like
think
it.
Hawkinson does better than Pitts.
I like it. Listen, I will say, I think there's a lot of good value with cheaper guys throughout the league. For this week anyway. There's a lot of injuries throughout the league.
I think so too.
I think if this is 1 week to go low and go give me Cup.
Yeah.
And then give me a couple of the cheap guys, I think it could really work out.
Get Jamal Williams.
Really could. Really could for sure. So wrap it up for week 4. Thank you for those predictions, Connor. I think you might win out this week. So I really do.
So I went 2.5 for 4 the first week. I went 1.5 for 4 last week.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm 4 out of 8 the whole thing. So I need a scale tipper here for me. Because I'm playing 500 ball. No one wants to play 500
No, you need to get ahead.
So
as we wrap up, what's the one game that you're looking forward to watching this week?
Ooh, the game I'm most looking forward to watching, I think on pure entertainment values, Buffalo-Baltimore.
Okay.
Pure entertainment value.
That's fine.
Honestly, man, like the Dolphins-Bills game was a bloodbath.
Mm-hmm.
And every player on both teams played their hearts out.
They did. They really did.
In 100-degree weather, in that humidity, they put on a great football game, and then they all hit the floor the second it was over.
That's cool.
Give me Bills football.
That's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun one for sure.
Right.
Thursday night, I think.
Thursday.
I do.
Even if Tua doesn't play.
Fine. If Tua does not play, I'll go Jags Eagles. And that's not because I'm an Eagle fan, it's because I'm actually excited to see Peterson and T-Law work together.
That's fair.
In Philly.
Against
hostile environment.
Against the best team in the NFC.
That's going to be if Tua plays, I want to see that. It could be a shootout.
Yeah.
I want to see it.
It's fair.
If he doesn't, I'll stick with T-Law.
Fair.
And I'm an Eagle guy.
In your first favorite game before we go.
First.
In like your first pick, Dolphins Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Which receiving core has the better fantasy day?
Mm-hmm.
Dolphins or Bengals?
Dolphins.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Who has the better day points wise? Waddle or Hill?
I think Hill, because he had like 2 catches last game.
All right.
They got the win, and he's definitely I'm happy we won, but he's definitely like sliding into his own quarterback's DM, but throw him the ball, bro.
Yeah.
Throw him the ball.
5 of the best wide receivers in the game right now playing in this
throw
game.
him the ball. It's going to be crazy.
Hopefully Tua plays.
It's going to be crazy.
No disrespect to Teddy Bridgewater.
For sure.
At all.
But we need Tua here.
But I want to.
That's why when the NFL writers scripted this week.
Alabama versus LSU.
It's going to be a great game.
Versus Tua.
It's going to be a great game.
Let's do it.
All right, Connor, thank you so much for hanging out with us this week. Have a safe flight back, and we'll see you back here next week. Everyone, thanks for watching. Comment below your opinions, your thoughts. If we're crazy, well, we know we're crazy. If you think everyone thinks we're crazy. Have a great week, everyone. We'll see you this weekend.
London football, baby. Top of the morning.
Take care.